No. Okay, it's May 8th, and we're ready to start
Just a second. And we're live.
Okay, thanks, Ron. It's May 8th, and the Prospect Forestation meeting will now come to order. We do have a quorum here, so we can address anything that we need to take action on as needed. Typically, we will start with the approval of the last minutes. That would be April 10th. You should all have a copy of that. If there's any changes, corrections, speak now.
Looks good to me. I make a motion to approve.
Okay.
I second.
Okay, minutes approved. Sounds good. Okay, we know the mayor is shortly or is in the air, so he's not available. I don't know if he had any comments he wanted to leave with you, Ron, in terms of
He did
activities. Okay. I think typically, unless there's something going on with one of the legal issues, he emphasizes the various activities that are upcoming, and those are now being, detailed on a regular basis with the e-blast. That makes it easy to keep up with. So I would just say if anybody has questions, they could refer to that for any activities, and if there's other information, it will be sent out as needed.
And if you're not on the email list,
I love the e-blast.
Yeah, the list with
like
everything in it, pulled together is really very helpful. It's a lot easier than you're having to send out 5 or 6 or however many.
Yeah,
Ron,
getting
Ron, do you know anything about LDG? Is that all the way through now, the court system?
No, it is still wrapped up in the court system, and I don't want to say when it's supposed to be because I'm not sure. I was thinking September, but I don't know if that's right. So don't quote me on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I remember hearing something about the fall as well, but I couldn't tell you September exactly.
Yeah,
I agree. We did address before we started that Andrea was having transportation issues, so we may or may not hear from her today. Ron let us know that the tree guards for the canopy trees are now available. So I'll shoot her an email so she can make arrangements with the crew that does the planting to come back out and get that done. And because we did have an inquiry from a resident about when he was going to get his. So that should not be a problem. Now, but since we're talking about canopy trees, it's on the agenda, not quite in this order, but I think we were all a little disappointed that, we had a plan for 20 trees and we didn't get but about half of that for the participants in the spring. We had almost the full quota in the fall, but one of the things that came to mind is the goal is to get 20 trees out there. And we did have a couple of people that wanted to do more than one tree, so that maybe we throw the option out to ask for 2 trees if they're available. But if we get single requests from enough residents, they would only be allowed 1. So that way we could be more assured of getting 20 trees every time, because we don't want to lose the city's support. And we also want to make sure that we get trees going into the city.
That's a good idea.
I agree.
And I don't know, Ron, if you have any thoughts on that, and we certainly would need to run it by Doug and John.
Yeah, you definitely need to run it by the mayor. So.
But it's part of the budget, and we want to use the money we can to support trees and prospects. So if that's an acceptable way to do it, and then control it if we need to. So, okay, we'll follow up on that one when he's back in town. There's nothing else from the consultant that I know of. She is concerned that we are moving forward with the some of the hazardous tree notifications. I know Mike has at least a starting list. I don't know if he's contacted any of the residents or sent any letters, so I will contact him to see where he is, and we may want to just revisit the whole list and maybe do a little bit of survey work ourselves now that the trees have come out, to make sure that, number one, has an owner taken action, or is it, still okay, or is it not okay, so that, be it remediation or removal, is addressed in a timely manner this year. So then we've got the tree plan. We all came to terms with the new plan. Herb was by City Hall, and he said, I think everybody has signed it, but David, so that's good. And David's not on with us today, so I will contact him and say either get to City Hall, or if we've had a conflict in the past, I've suggested that they just print out the signature page, sign it, scan it, and then email it to City Hall at their convenience from wherever they might be at that time. So we do have a complete set of signatures on the plan. So hopefully it can go to council in their next packet, where I guess it's now June 2nd is the next meeting. So that's where we are on that. And then Herb threw out a couple ideas, because we've been talking about trying to put together some community communications and get more of our HOAs involved. And I think, oh, here's Sylvia. Good. Hey.
Hello.
Yeah, good.
Hello.
There.
One of the things that's been kind of interesting, we had the meeting with the Innisbrook HOA, and then Lee went to talk to their annual meeting, and I think the community is getting more involved. And I had an email last night from the HOA saying she had a couple questions about the ordinance, and I was able to answer them. But she said they are working with an arborist to do a community-wide street tree program, and for not only their common area trees, but to try and get owners to receive a more favorable price by working together. So I thought that was kind of exciting, that people are starting to pay some attention. So, but what Herb took it to the next level is that maybe we do something with Parks and Recreation at the pavilion sometime this summer, and it could be a little bit of a walk to look at trees and things, not just flowers, and then have somebody that's knowledgeable, like Andrea or Herb was at a speaker on oak trees. It was at Creasy Mahan that he said was very effective, and that there would be resources maybe from Louisville Trees Inc. or some other qualified speakers to put together just something. One of the suggestions her was saying that, if you were going to pick a redbud or a dogwood, which one would you pick and why? And was one of them a better tree than others? And just little details like that most people aren't aware of. So I think we'll try to reach out based on that to Parks and Recreation and see what's on their schedule, and where we could work together on something that would be interesting. Because I know we've had the idea before, but not really put anything together. So I think that's a goal for us to have. So that's pretty much what I had, without anything from the mayor or Andrea. It's going to be a short and sweet one.
That's all right.
Unless somebody else has some other topics they'd like to get into today.
Well, that's great about Innisbrook. I think, is there a way we could publicize that in all of Prospect, and maybe some of the other subdivisions would get the idea to do it too?
Well, we could do an article about a success story that along those lines. We also talked about, once the trees are more settled in, doing one on the people in the landings that have participated in canopy tree 3 times. So we do have some stories that we could send to Ron, and that would be an invitation to the other areas that have HOAs to say, hey, maybe, we can work together on this. And there's somebody out there that is a reputable tree company that, if they're going to get a body of work at the same time, that will cut us a break. And I think most of them would.
Is there a subdivision that doesn't have an HOA?
Oh yeah. The Landings does not. Hunting Creek does not.
Oh, Oh, that's too bad.
those are two big ones.
Well,
Yeah.
our street, Autumn Hill Court's not a HOA. No,
Yeah.
there's pockets of areas without HOA.
There are a lot of HOs. I think there's at least 20 of them. I mean, Hunting Creek Estates has one. Riding Ridge has one. Westover has one. There are a
Riding
lot of
Ridge
little
is what?
ones.
6 houses?
Yeah, exactly. But Sutherland has one. Bridgepoint has one. So there are enough of them out there that if we could get even a couple more of them participating in a program like Innisbrook's, I think it would be a good thing.
Oh, boy, it would be.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, we can also advertise it or educate a little bit more about the Arbor Fest and the and actually what all Forestation's involved in too.
Yeah.
And likewise, parks, they could some things that they would like to have people to be aware of.
Yeah, and they do that with the wildflower walks, the bird education. They've done a lot of interesting things that they kind of relate to each other. So if we could find some joint topics to present together, I think that would be very worthwhile.
Yeah, it hurts my heart every time I hear those chainsaws going.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that. They
Yeah,
take down
but
these huge trees.
we've also had a lot of storm damage that there really wasn't a whole lot of choice in some of the removals, unfortunately.
Well, I hope it was because they had to.
Yeah. Ron, when is the next newsletter that we should be getting you some things to work with? Got a plan?
Well, that's a good question. I never know. Basically,
So if we just
I
write
tell the mayor
something
we
up and
ought
you'll
to
have
do a
it
news.
there
I,
for
I
whenever.
tell the mayor we ought to do a newsletter. When he gets around to writing his article, that's when I go ahead and do the newsletter.
Okay, understand, that'll work.
So, we've got enough stuff coming up. I'll probably tell him we need to do one for long. So,
And he's out till what, the 19th?
about that, yeah.
Okay, he and John both, I think.
Yep, they went away and left me in charge, if you can believe that.
Boy, I can't.
Oh, Prospect should feel so safe.
Well, we
Let's
do.
see.
We
John is
do, like never before.
John is
Okay,
John is due. Yeah, they're both
enough
due
of our
back the 16th,
silliness.
so.
What other things would we like to talk about today concerning trees? Anything?
I think that's good.
Okay,
Well,
works for me. Can we?
I would like to publicize when we do have the meeting where we get the public informed. We inform them about that. Oh, the hidden secret life of trees, and he's got another one, and there's somebody else now that has a book about trees that people don't know about.
Yeah.
How they communicate through their roots and shelter their babies. That would be
It might be interesting. We could work with the library and have them set up a special display and call it Prospect Tree Month.
That would be great.
And have a little mini display that they could pull books from different areas and just say, did you know it's Prospect Tree Month? And, maybe even make it official.
Great idea.
I did have one thing. Don't know if y'all noticed or not, but there was a tree just across River Road, just across from the shopping center, the exit up towards Please and Thank You. That it's been a constant problem. It dropped another limb over Derby weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So I made an executive decision and declared it a public safety hazard, and we just removed the whole tree.
Yeah.
It was at Ashland, so it's just about the 4th or 5th time over the past year and a half we've had to go out and do something to it. So it was time for it to go.
Well, I knew it had not been in good shape for a while, so I think that's good to note that that's been done and that potential hazard is gone.
Yeah, it was right on.
Made lots of people happy shutting down River Road for 2 days.
Mm-hmm. They'll have something to look forward to when it's open again. Okay, can I have okay, our next meeting will be June 12th. And we'll continue to use WebEx just for the access for like Sylvia and Andrea in particular.
I guess, Linda, there's one item to to the lady with the blue wall to give her some education here in the future about ARP and things like Medicare and all that kind of stuff. That young lady, so she's aware that might be a thing in the future.
She's way too young for that.
Okay.
No doubt. No doubt.
All right.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
Yes.
I have a motion to adjourn.
A second.
Okay. It's 2:16 and we are now officially adjourned, and thank you all for your participation.
Thank you.
Thank you.